Welcome back to Finance Friday. It's another special edition of Money Girl where I answer your burning money questions. Today's topic comes from an anonymous voicemail caller who says,
Yes, I want you to do a show on fixed income, how they can invest their little money they have. What can they do to get richer?
Thank you so much, anonymous caller. That's a great question because I think many people are struggling to start investing or to invest more, especially when they have a fixed or low income that, really stretches their budget. This podcast will review building wealth and investing confidently, even with little money. Thank you for downloading this episode. It's 893 of the Money Girl podcast. I'm Laura Adams, an award-winning author, money speaker, on-camera spokesperson, and consumer advocate. You can learn more about me at lauradadams.com. That's also where you can sign up for my free Substack newsletter called The Money Stack. It gives subscribers a terrific free money success toolkit that I would love for you to download. If you have a question about money, you can use my contact page at lauradadams.com or leave a message 24/7 at 302-364-0308, just like today's anonymous caller did. If you're new to investing, or maybe you need to invest more to achieve your financial goals, let's start by reviewing who should be an investor and why. While we use the terms saving and investing interchangeably, they're really not the same thing. Saving is putting money in a safe, liquid account, like a bank savings. And it's typically for your short-term needs, like unexpected expenses, or maybe something you want to buy in a year or two, like a house or a car. Investing is different. That is purchasing assets or financial instruments like index funds or exchange-traded funds or ETFs with the expectation of future growth over the long term. Keeping emergency money in an FDIC-insured, high-interest savings account is critical. You want it there because it's never going to be at risk and it will be available to you when needed. In other words, you should never invest your savings because many investments fluctuate wildly within short periods. Generally, you should only invest when you plan to own the investment for several years, such as at least 5 or more. The problem with keeping too much in a savings account is that it typically doesn't outpace inflation. For instance, if the inflation rate is 4% and your savings are earning 1.5%, you're losing money and you're not building wealth. Your savings will be worth less in the long run if it grows slower than the inflation rate. If you want the opportunity to beat inflation, investing in the financial markets is a popular option because it takes little money, it can be well diversified, and it's convenient for average investors. So we're going to talk about 5 ways to invest confidently even with little money. I think there's a misconception that people with fixed incomes or little money can't invest in the financial markets. Well, fortunately, most investing firms and online platforms have no account minimums. They allow you to buy fractional shares of expensive publicly traded stocks like Amazon and Apple. In other words, you can own a fraction of the world's most profitable companies by purchasing shares of one or more ETFs or index funds. And I'll talk more about funds in a moment. So let's go through 5 ways to confidently invest even when you have a fixed income or little money to set aside. Number 1 is to build healthy savings. Whether you have a fixed income because you're disabled, retired, or for any other reason, you still need a cash reserve. That is so important for, staying safe and feeling confident about your finances. Therefore, if you don't have enough savings or any savings, prioritize building it before investing. A good savings target is 3 months worth of your living expenses. So those are the things like housing, food, utilities, and debt payments, the things that you pretty much have to pay every month. For example, if your living expenses total $3,000 each month, make a goal to build up at least that amount and ideally 3 times or $9,000 in your savings account. In addition, if you've got high-interest credit card debt, consider paying it off as soon as possible. By doing that, you'll get an instant rate of return by eliminating the high monthly interest expense. So that's the first thing to be confident, is to have healthy savings and to, get rid of any dangerous debt that you may have. The second way to confidently invest is to purchase a diversified portfolio. For the average investor, buying and selling individual securities like an individual stock is not wise because those securities can be volatile, rising and falling throughout the day. A better strategy is investing in one or more diversified funds. They're diversified because they bundle investments like stocks, bonds, and other securities. Funds are usually made up of hundreds or even thousands of underlying securities. So if some of those lose value, others are going to hold steady or even increase in value. And that minimizes your potential losses and allows you to earn higher average returns over time. Now, if you have decades to go before you plan to spend invested money, consider putting the majority of your portfolio in a stock fund. You might choose an S&P 500 index fund, and it's called an index fund because it tracks the performance of the S&P 500, and those are the 500 largest companies in the United States. And since the 1920s, the historical average return of that market has been about 10%. If you're already retired or living on a fixed income, the same benefits of diversification apply. However, depending on your time horizon, your age, and risk tolerance, you might choose to own a fund with a mix of stocks, bonds, and cash, which is going to balance the growth and the risk. So the way that you are diversifying your portfolio can definitely increase your confidence because you know that you are not investing in just one security that could, go down in value immediately and wipe out the value. Diversification is going to decrease your risk, which should increase your confidence about investing. The third way to increase your confidence is to use tax-advantaged accounts. When you purchase investments inside a tax-advantaged account, like an individual retirement account or IRA, a workplace 401k, or a health savings account or HSA, you get some terrific money-saving tax benefits. Workplace retirement plans may offer valuable matching contributions from your employer, but even if you don't get a match, you want to try to fill those workplace accounts first. For 2025, you can contribute up to $23,500 or $31,000 if you're over 50 to most types of workplace retirement plans. Your elected contributions to a retirement plan can be a flat amount or a percentage of your paycheck, and they have to be deducted from your pay automatically. That actually makes it easier to invest consistently, regardless of how much or how little you earn. Plus, if you leave your job, you can transfer your vested balance into an IRA by doing a tax-free rollover. But if you're on a fixed income, you may not be working, you may not have the ability to participate in a workplace retirement plan. But number 4 is going to be for you. You can use innovative investing platforms. So a brokerage account is a terrific option if you don't have access to a retirement account, or maybe you just prefer investing in a taxable brokerage account. Some innovative online options exist, such as micro-investing platforms and robo-investing firms. For instance, Acorns is a firm that allows you to round up purchases made on linked debit and credit cards to the nearest dollar or even more, and then automatically invest that spare change that you collect when it reaches $5. Acorns recommends a diversified ETF portfolio based on your risk tolerance, goals, and time horizon. You can own it inside a taxable account or even a tax-advantaged IRA. Micro-investing can be a really great way for beginners or those with little money to start building wealth. Some robo-investing platforms like Betterment offer various account types like high-yield savings, taxable brokerages, and tax-advantaged retirement accounts. They use an algorithm that automatically selects and manages a diversified ETF portfolio for you based on your stated goals and risk tolerance. I love Betterment. I've been using them for years. I think a primary benefit of robo-investing is also paying lower fees compared to a traditional brokerage firm. The more you pay in transaction and ongoing investment fees, the lower your investment returns will be. In addition, most robo firms offer convenient mobile apps with nice features that make setting up transfers and recurring deposits really easy. And the fifth way to build confidence is to reduce your spending. While reducing spending on a fixed or low income can be difficult, I want you to thoroughly review your expenses this year. There may be leaks. You might have impulse purchases that you are prone to that you can stop. Or you may be able to cut back on some significant costs like your housing and transportation. If you can radically cut those larger expenses, that's where you're going to see the needle move the most in terms of having more money to invest. Here are some everyday tips that might help you free up more money to invest. This is something that I do, and it's to use a waiting period rule. Basically, create a rule, a promise to yourself that before buying anything over a certain amount, maybe it's $25, $50, $100, that you're going to wait and think about it. For instance, waiting at least 24 hours to decide if something is a need or just an impulse allows you to reconsider it with a clear mind. I can't tell you how many times I think about buying something and then I think, nope, I'm just going to wait 24 hours and see if I still want it. And a majority of the time, I've actually forgotten about the thing after 24 hours. But I know if it's still on my mind after that waiting period rule has expired, that maybe it is something, that I really want to consider purchasing. You might try a no spending challenge. This is when you set a goal to cut all impulse spending over a certain period, like a week or a month or even longer. For instance, you might decide you're going to cook more at home and, not eat out for a certain period. You might avoid shopping apps or only buy essentials like groceries, housing expenses, utilities, and insurance over a certain period. I think most people should unsubscribe from retail newsletters. The next time you receive an email newsletter with a tempting promotion or sale, look for that unsubscribe link and break the cycle. And reevaluate what you already own. Instead of buying something you don't need, reevaluate what is already in your closet or in your drawers. You might even reorganize your belongings, like your clothes, shoes, and housewares, so it's easy to see what you already have. It's almost like shopping in your own closet. The bottom line is that you don't need a lot of money to invest. Whether you're working or living on a fixed income right now, you just need an investing account and a commitment to set aside a small amount regularly. And again, if you're having trouble coming up with a small amount, use some of these tips here to try to cut back on your spending or even consider ways to earn more income so that you've got a little bit more to invest. And setting it up as an automated transaction is a really powerful way to build a habit of investing and meet your goals. If you need help choosing investments, always seek advice from your brokerage firm. Even robo-investing companies often have human advisors who can guide you through opening your account and selecting suitable investments based on your goals if needed. Before we go, here's a quick reminder to subscribe to The Money Stack, my weekly newsletter, when you visit lauradadams.com. It's filled with money tips, tools, news, challenges, and things I enjoy. You can subscribe for free or become a paid member with access to live educational events. Thanks again to our anonymous voicemail caller. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and we have a terrific team that I want to thank. Steve Rickyberg audio engineers the show. Brandon Gachus is our director of podcast. Holly Hutchins is our digital operations specialist. Morgan Christensen is our advertising operations specialist. Davina Tomlin is our marketing and publicity associate. And Nathaniel Hoops is our marketing contractor.